another edition of Band Camp. This Band Camp is Band Camp Optimize. Optimize is meant to help you activate your underutilized muscles using the mini band lift. So we'll go through a hip strengthening and stabilization sequence to fire up your glutes, your hips. This is a great program to add into whatever else you're doing, or to even do the first part of this video before you go out for a run or you do your cardio. Mini bands are great, so we're going to force you to activate your stabilizers, your core muscles, and to fire up your underutilized muscles in your glutes, making everything work more optimally. Second part of this video, we'll start to stretch a little bit more intensively, holding poses a little bit longer. It'll have more of a yin yoga kind of feel to it, or runner's recovery yoga, where we will hold poses a little bit longer just to kind of stretch everything out. So you might do this video in its entirety from the stabilizing strength exercises right into the stretching, holding the poses, or you might do the first part of this video, as I said, before you go out and do a run or your cardio to kind of activate everything, and then pause it and come back for the stretching post-workout. However you choose to do that is entirely up to you. What you have ahead of you is about 20 minutes using your mini bands. So the mini bands that I like to use are Power Systems. You can also go to their website. Perform Better is another company. But the mini bands, we're going to use a moderate resistance. So that might be red, it might be blue, it might be purple. I did it with the purple yesterday, so I'm going to kind of stick with blue. You're going to grab your band, and you're going to take it over your thighs, about 1.5 inches above your knees to 2 inches. The biggest thing with the band is that it's not moving the entire time that we use it. So you always want to have tension on the band. Know that if at any point you start to feel your knees, inner outer knees, never what we want to feel. That's why you're pressing out on the band. So if you're feeling it there, chances are you either need to press out a little bit over the band or take the band off. So we're going to start lying on our back. If you have a mat down, you can use your mat kind of as a bridge. Your feet will be almost as wide as your mat. And we're going to start in a bridge. So with your feet about hip width, you're going to press the knees out from you just slightly, and then drive through your heels to lift your hips up off the mat. You want to think of your knees tracing this line. Now you have tension on the band. Press the knees out about another 1/4 inch, and then keep the press out. Lower the hips down nice and slow. So we're going to build this slow. Press all the way up. Press the knees slightly out. Hold that press out as you lower down. One more time, super slow. Press to lift. Little press out, lower down for 2. We lift up, you press out, and then you slow lower down. If you want 1 minute, we'll catch the beat right here. Lift, press, slow lower down. Press up, press out, hips drop back down. So the tempo that we're moving at is a guideline. It's not an ultimatum. I want you to think that little press out is tiny. So press to the heels, tiny press out, slow lower down. Lift, press, slow, lower down, good. Lift, press, slow, lower. Excellent, halfway there. So some things today we'll do in about 1 minute. Other things we'll do for 30 seconds. Excellent, guys, 8 more. So now you're gonna start to feel the underside of your glutes, hip flexors firing up. That's what we want. Getting into your gluteus maximus, gluteus medius. Yes, you've got 3, 2 more, 2, last full time. Next time you take it up, little pulses, you lift up, up. So the band's not moving out. You just want to imagine I gave you the winning lottery ticket that you're squeezing between your glutes. Hands are just gently by your side. There's not a ton of extra pressure in your neck. 16 seconds here. Really squeeze through the glutes so that's what you feel. You're not loading your low back. Good, guys. 8 more seconds. You've got 8, 6. We're going to press the knees out. In 4, 3. Hold your static up. Now little press out, little pull in. Out, in. So I want you to think as you press out, it's super, super tiny. Your knees are barely moving, right? You don't want to have this huge yo-yo effect. You want to keep the tension on the band. That's why there's so much sensation. The more tension you keep, the more sensation you feel. Yes. 8 more. 8, 7, 6, 5, last 4, In 4, 3, 2, just hold. Squeeze the glutes. It's a static isolation hold, 30 seconds. We get a little rest after this. So sensation should build as we progress. Never pain. Glutes, hips should be on fire. Your knees are pressing out. Your hips are lifted. You're squeezing. 16 seconds left. Breathe for me. Yes. 8, 6, 4, 3, lower down. A little hug of the knees into the chest if you need it. So we're going to go right back in. 30 seconds off. And then we're going to go right back to your bridge. So you got about 16 seconds left. Plant your feet on the mat. This time, take your feet though about hip width. So maybe not as wide as you took it the first time. Press through your heels, drive the hips up. You want to find the static hold. This static hold is always your base. Know that you don't have to leave here. Otherwise, keeping the hips up, lift your right foot off the mat. You're pressing to your left heel, hips are still up. Drop your right heel. So it's a walking static hold. Left foot lifts off the mat, and then you drop down, then you alternate. So you don't have to be on my pace. You don't have to be with the music that's gently playing in the background. Think of squeezing the glutes. So as you lift, there's control, there's stability. That's why your feet are kind of right under your hips. It's not even about how high you lift your foot off the ground, as much as it is you're driving the hips up the entire time. Good, about 25 seconds here. And we're just gonna start to alternate, keeping one leg up. Yes. Beautiful control. So you'll notice as Mike starts to lift, nothing else is moving. Good, last 8 seconds. You got 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, keep your right leg up. Press through your left heel, should be the left glute lighting up, and then extend your right toe to the ceiling. Lower your right leg down about halfway, maybe slightly out to the corner of mat, and then lift your right leg back up. Lower and lift. You lower down, you lift up. Now the entire time, you're pressing through your left heel. So that's really where you want to feel the work, right? It's not about having the back slunking down towards the mat. Keep driving through. Left knee presses out to left corner of the mat. So you're activating the whole left outer thigh. Good. Last 8, 6. Right leg stays up to the ceiling. Next time you find it there, keep your right leg up. Drop your hips down. Now press through your left heel to lift your hips up. So you drop down and you lift. Single glute bridge. So maybe you lift your left toes, because the key here is to drive through the heel. Good, only about 16 seconds left. Beautiful, guys. Keep pressing the left knee out, keep pressing to the left heel. Last 8. In 4, 3, hold up, bring your right foot down. Hold your static bridge just for a moment to reset. Take a big inhale, big exhale. Lift your left leg up towards the ceiling. As your toes want to hit the ceiling, press your right knee out and press to your right heel. Drop your left leg down, maybe it's parallel to the floor, and then lift your left leg back up. So same thing, it's a static hold for your right glute, even though we're adding in that left leg lift and lower. So keep thinking of the connection of your right heel, 16 seconds. That's the biggest piece. Yes. 8 more, we've got a single bridge. In 8, 6, 4, 3, left leg stays up. Drive through your right heel to press your up. Now know that if a single bridge is not an option, guess what? You've got that double bridge. Otherwise, we're just isolating sides. As if you're gonna put your left heel on the ceiling. Beautiful. You've got 8, 6, 4, 3, 2. Bring your feet down. Hug your knees into your chest. Little squeeze, little reset. All right, you're gonna roll onto your left side. We're gonna turn to face you. Your left elbow is gonna line up directly underneath of your left shoulder. So we're gonna kind of have ourselves sitting up. You wanna feel this a little bit through the top right oblique as well. Right hand is in front of you. So you're gonna buckle yourself in a seatbelt. Extend both legs out long to your mat. And notice if you wanna collapse here. Think about grounding down through your fingertips, but rotating your chest to the ceiling, as if you're sandwiched between two walls. From here, lift your top leg just high enough that you feel tension on the top hip. That is your new floor. From here, you lift up, and then you lower right down to your floor. Here we go, little lift, little lower. So these side laying hip lifts, we're gonna feel that deeper into our IT band. You should still feel this slightly through the glutes as well. If you think about flexing through the right heel. Now, if you're feeling a ton of pressure in your shoulders, always an option to lie down, but I like being up on the shoulder to start because it gets us into your obliques. So you'll notice, right? The core fires up 30 seconds as we do these exercises. The mini bands force you to use your stabilizers. And anytime we hit into our stabilizing muscles, we fire up your core. Good, guys. Think about control. There's always tension on the band. You've got 8, 6, 4, 3 little pulses here, 30 seconds. So think tiny. Now that's where the sensation should really start to fire up. So the smaller you go, less that band is jerking around, the more you feel. Good, last 16. Almost, I know, fight through it. Finally, we're gonna keep it up. 8, right on this shelf, as if our leg is laying on a shelf. I'm gonna push my right heel back, and then I'm gonna pull it in line with my left. I push back, and I pull in. Again, you might be a little bit slower than me, a little bit quicker. The goal is to have control. So as I press my right heel back, I'm still feeling the hip, but I'm also getting into my glute. That's where your heel becomes that point of connection. Good, 16 seconds. And then we got a little pulse back before we bend your knees. Final 8 here. You've got 8, 6, in 4, 3, little pulses back. Press back, back. So how do you know if you're moving too much? Your body starts to move with you, right? 16. Tiny, tiny, tiny. We get a little break to reset. Final 8 for me. You've got 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, drop your leg. Bend both knees. Now you're gonna come down to lying on your side. So again, imagine you're sandwiched between two walls. You're just lying on your left arm. Your knees are gonna bend, the insides of your feet are gonna stay glued together. And you're gonna open up your knees for me just enough that you feel tension on the band. How wide you go depends on the color band you chose and how your legs feel right now. Start to close your bands, but keep space between your legs so you still got tension. And then pull your top kneecap back so you're getting into the outer thigh, hip, and glute. You lower down, you raise up. In for 2, slow open for 2. So again, if you need to be a little bit slower, that's okay. We want to start to find controlled movements. It's not about speed. The whole goal of optimize, it allows you to optimize your performance. Especially some of us that are so quick to only want to do the HIIT training and to do cardio or go for our runs. This is allowing us to strengthen the muscles that help us do those things. Good, 30 seconds. This is a big one. So some exercises will be a minute, some will be 30 seconds. You'll find the more controlled, slower movements tend to be a little bit longer. That's gonna fire us into the muscles. And then those 30 seconds are really just to be a finisher, to get everything right to its ending point. Excellent, guys. You've got 12. Final 8. 8, 6. We're gonna hold it up the pulse. In 4, 3. Next time you're up, little presses back. Press back, back. So my knees look like they're barely moving. The insides of my feet are kissing. Hip flexor right underneath your seat is what's lighting up. Yes. Almost, I know, friends. Final 8 here. You've got 8, 6, in 4, 3, 2, drop your knees. Turn over onto your tabletop position, and then sit your hips to your heels, child's pose. Again, little resets. So we'll have these little pauses as we move. Hands go to your left, hips drop to the right. So you just want to stretch out the hip that you just worked. Good, let's switch it out. Hands to the right, hips to the left. Even though we didn't work your left side yet, things work in tandem. Good, and then come back up through center. Tabletop position. Now your knees are directly under your hips, hands under your shoulders, and perhaps your knees even come out a little bit wider than your hips. Traditional hydrant, you lift the leg up and down, right? I want you to think your big toe is screwed into the mat. So the only thing that's going to start to move is your knee. So as I start to move my knee, my toe is actually still connected, and that's where we're going to go. Just 30 seconds on your right knee lifts. So you lift and you lower. Why am I having you keep the toe connected? Well, a couple things. What happens if you start to lift the whole leg? Guess what? A lot of times your body starts to move with it. We want control. Stabilization. Good, you're more than halfway. You've got 8, 6, you got 2 sides, right? We're gonna switch it to your left, just your left knee lifts. But keep the left toe connected to the mat. So as you lift, a big thing here, really focus on the control. You're more than halfway there. Now we have what I call a pyramid. So we're gonna start to work our way down from 6. Starting with your right, then to your left. In 8, 6, we're back on your right. In 4, 3, give me 6 on the right. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, give me 6 on the left. Keep your toe connected. 6, 5, this is where you should feel more as we start to break our way down. Last 2, in 2, give me 4 on your right. 4, 3, 2, 4 on your left. 4, now your magic number is 2. Last 2 on the left, we got 2 right, 2 left. 2 on the right. 2 on the left, left set. Hold. Step your feet outside your hands. Lift your chest. Again, now how will you get in the squat is completely up to you. You're gonna use your mat as a grid or a guideline. I'm just gonna turn so you can face me. So from here, little drop. And then turn your toes out so your heels are still connected to the mat. Rotate your toes back in, your knees are still pressing out. So we turn out slow, you turn in slow. Do it again. Chest is tall, you're not leaning over. You should not feel this in your back. What you should feel is the glutes and hips on fire. In 2, one more time you turn out. Turn back in, plant your hands. Hop or step back to your tabletop position. We got a good minute to work on this. We're gonna start to put it together. So give me 2 hydrants on the right toes connected right here. 2 on the right. 2 hydrants on the left, keep your toe connected. Step or hop your feet outside your hands. You'll notice if your band is rolling, you need more tension. That's why you're stepping wide. Little half squat, turn your toes out. Half squat, turn your toes in. 1 more, magic number is 2. Toes turn out, toes turn in. Plant your hands. Step or hop back to your tabletop position. Give me 2 hydrants on the right. Keep your toe connected. Good, do the same thing on your left. Hop or step your feet outside your hands. Lift your chest, your toes are parallel. Turn your toes out, little half squat. Turn your toes in. 1 more time, out. Turn them in. Hands come down, tabletop position. You got 2 hydrants on the right, your last 2 sets. Then you take it on your left. Now if going up and down, walk outside your hands is too much, you stay in your hydrants, keep alternating for 2. Turn out, stay low, turn in. See how low you can stay. 1 more out, in, plant your hands, final set. Toe stays connected, 2 hydrants on the right. Yes. 2 hydrants on your left. Beautiful, guys. Step outside your hands. Lift your chest, you're low. Press the knees out. Come back through center. Knees are still pressing out. Out, in, Come all the way down. Yes. Sit yours back to your heels. Child's pose. So you just want to feel a little bit of a stretch through the hips and glutes. So we're going to do the same lying hip sequence we did, but now on your left. So come down to lying on your right side. I'm going to stay facing you, so I'm going to change sides of my mat. Right elbow is right underneath your right shoulder. If you feel a ton of pressure in your shoulder, always an option to lie down. This just helps get us into our obliques a little bit more, your side core. Legs extend straight. Make sure you got tension on the band. Mine split down ever so slightly. Flex through your left leg, and then lift your left leg up just high enough that you have tension. You want to start with the base. That's your floor. Hands are gently in front of you, heart's open. Again, right, that wall's on either side. Let's lift and lower here. Lift and lower. Beautiful. So if you imagine your top left hand is like a seatbelt, it's buckling you in. You feel a little pinch in the core, not pain. That's your obliques working. Think of pressing through the left heel as if there's a long energetic line. You're going to kick something away from you. Good. Think of the beautiful controlled motion. Doesn't have to be a huge lift. Less than 30 before we pulse it up. Good. Take the tension out of your neck, out of your jaw. Final 4. In 4, 3, 2. Little pulses. You lift here. Little lift. Now, if you think about the heel slightly back to the corner of your mat, almost it's still shadowing your right. Get you into the glute. I'm right onto your seat, just a little bit more. Good, guys. 10 seconds. In 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3. Hold. Press back. Pull it back in. So you're going to imagine your left leg is on a shelf. This is that point where you want to dip the leg down. See how high you can keep it, right? Keep the tension. And then think about pressing back. That's what gets into our glutes. Yes, you will still feel the IT band in the hip flexor. That's what we want. Good, you're halfway there. So right, these moves, not the pulses, are a little bit longer. That's where the tension, the sensation builds. You need a break, you take it, you come back in. 16. Final 8 before we pulse. 8, 6, I know I'm with you. 4, 3, little pulses back. Pulse. Again, keep your fingers here, light amount of support. A little pushback with my heels, gonna kiss mics. Yes. Final 16. You've got it, last 8, 6, in 4, 3, lay your leg down. Come down to lying on your side, lying on your right arm. Bend your knees. Again, think of the insides of your feet kissing. We're still gonna work the left hip. Find some tension on the band. Again, how wide you open is up to you. But if you think about the left kneecap going back to the corner of the room, that's where you want tension. Now start to close your legs just enough that there's still space between your legs. You can still feel it. And then you open up. Let's close for 2. You close, 2, open for 2, close, and open, yes. So you want to keep tension on the bands at all times. That's what's going to allow you to build strength stability. When your band starts to move, generally that's because you've lost a little bit of that tension. Excellent, guys. More than halfway there. But we've got that pulse to finish this round. So where can you keep fighting to keep the insides of your feet glued together? You lower, you lift, yes. Lower. 2 more, 2. Next time you're up, we hold it and we pulse. Take it up, hold it, little squeezes. Back, back. So you want to think of the right knee pressing down into the mat as the left knee pulls back. So even though both knees are really moving, you want to focus on the left knee moving. Your right leg is just stabilizing you. 16 seconds. Yes, you can. 8 more here. You've got 8, Last 4, 4, 3, 2. Come down onto your belly. Stretch your arms and legs out long. Little stretch here. One more piece, guys, of this stabilizing and strength workout. So you can bring your hands underneath of you. It's kind of like we're gonna hang out and take a little nap. Your knees are gonna go wide to the corners of your mat. You're gonna glue the insides of your feet together. So it's almost like you're making a little diamond shape. So just like you did before in your clamshells, the insides of your feet are gonna squeeze together. And Mike's gonna imagine that I gave him a little tray of water that he's gonna have on his feet. So the goal is just to lift the legs up to the ceiling without throwing your hips up and putting extra pressure in your low back. So I'm gonna press my feet up to the ceiling. I should feel the glutes squeeze, and then I lower my thighs back down. I lift and lower. Again, you're on your pace. The biggest thing is that the feet are squeezing in. At the same time, you think of the knees pressing out. So you're keeping tension on the band. There's a lot of playing with opposites here. And it's a lot to think about at once. It's almost like asking you to chew gum, dance, sing, and play an instrument. But it's that mindfulness and putting the attention on your muscle, the squeezing in as you're pressing out, playing in these opposites, that allows you to target the muscles in a much different way. Good. Less than 30 seconds, and we're gonna finish with a pulse. So the biggest thing here, a little bit of compression in your low back is okay. Compression is an okay thing. Pain is not. So that's where you're feeling it. Know that you can always turn onto your back and do the same bridges we started with. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Little lifts up right here. Little pulse. So center of your glute is really where we want to feel the most of this work. Little press. Your eyes can gaze naturally down to your mat. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Halfway there. Final 8. Last 8. 6, 4, 3, 2. Extend your legs and arms long. And then take your hands underneath your shoulders. Push back, hips to heels. Child's pose. Take your hands over to your left. Drop your hips to the right. As you angle that, notice the sensation as it drives through the back of your right glute. And then switch that out, arms reach to the right. Drop your hips to the left. Come back through center one more time. And then bring yourself all the way up. Take your legs underneath of you. Take off your band. If you're moving into the stretching portion of this, make your raise so that your right foot is forward. Prop yourself up on your hands and take your left leg back into a low runner's lunge. Know that if you need to, you can hold on to a block, as Mike's doing, or anything else you need to support you. And then let your back knee just fall to the mat. Now you shouldn't feel this in your front right knee, so if you need to, you can always turn the right toe out. You want to feel this deeply through the hip and the glute. Here, think about dropping the hips, dunking them down towards the mat as you lift the head and heart. And then either keeping your left toes tucked or left foot flat on the mat. Sit your hips back towards your heels. Flex your right toes to your right shin and feel the stretch through the back of your right leg. So we're gonna start almost like you would do a runner's yoga, a little bit of dynamic stretching, and then we're gonna hold some poses. And the goal is really to get into the deep fascia that we just really work the muscles intensively, but to stretch that out now. Let yourself rock forward, hips drop, heart lifts. Coming into your low runner's lunge. You can use whatever breath you need to here. In and out through the nose. And then sit your hips back. Again, it's not about reaching your heels, but feeling the stretch through the back of your right glute and hamstring. 2 more. Roll forward to your runner's lunge. Breathing space into the places where you feel it most. Hips sit back to heels. One more round just like this. On your low runner's lunge. Sit yours back towards your heels. Next time you come forward, hold. So know that if you need to, you can always do this a little higher up, holding onto your couch or propping yourself up on your block. You can stay here. You can drop one arm. You can drop both. And if you need to, the inside of your right foot can even lift off the mat. The goal is that you feel the hip and the glute opening. Here's where we hold. So anytime you hold a pose a little bit longer, you're cutting off the blood flow to that particular muscle. And the reason that that's important is that when we gently come out of these poses, it allows us to heal the deep tissue, your fascia. That's why we hold a little bit longer. Know that if you come out, just find a way to breathe and come back in. It's not meant to feel super pretty, not in it anyway. Might be one of the most comfortable exercises for you to do, and that's okay. Allowing ourselves to be in stillness, to be with what's uncomfortable, is not an easy practice. Just keep allowing yourself to come back to your breath, and let that be your guide. Take your last few breaths here. And mindfully start to bring yourself back to your hands if you found your way down. Step your left foot outside of your left hand. Oh, I know. Elbows come inside the knees. Little yogi squat. And then just allow yourself to sway side to side. Call this a little micro release. So we hold static postures. And then anytime we're moving a little bit more dynamically, it's just meant to be a little release. So you want to fight the urge to just shake things out. Good. Keep pressing your elbows into your knees, pressing out. Have a seat. Come down to lying on your back. Allow your arms and legs to stretch long in opposite directions. And then exhale. Pull just your right knee into your chest. Take your arms back to a long T and extend your right leg over your left side body. It's not about it touching the floor. If you need to, you can bend the knee. But since we just kind of had the knee bent, just a counter pose. You want to feel this through the right IT band or your hip. But the biggest thing here is that your right arm isn't coming up off the mat or the floor. Maybe taking your gaze over your right shoulder and just allowing yourself to release tension through your jaw, your low back. See where you can find more space to breathe. Letting your ribcage expand to the sides of your mat. Few more breaths. Big on your inhales as you can. As releasing on your exhales. One more. Exhale, come back through center. Pull your knees to your chest. Little squeeze. Maybe a little rock and roll along your spine, maybe grabbing behind your thighs. Maybe you just roll onto your side, however you get yourself up to a seated position. Gently take your hands behind you and then hook your right ankle over your left knee. Flex your right foot, pushing your left heel to the mat. The biggest thing here is that the knee is pressing down towards the mat instead of towards your ear. Not a ton of pressure in your hands. You should feel this through the right glute. We did a ton of work there today. If you want a little bit more, scoot your booty towards your heel. Hands walk chest to shin, but super important here that your right kneecap is pressing down to the corner of your mat. Keep flexing your toes to your shin. Keep pressing your right kneecap down towards the corner of your mat. Should feel pretty edgy through the right hip and glute. That's what we want. Bit longer. The moment you feel it, that's really where the pose starts. So just keep coming back to your breath. Notice where you feel sensation and breathe for that. Good, 3 more. One more big inhale. Exhale, scoot yourself back gently. Unhook your right foot. Both feet are down, knees are to the ceiling. Drop your knees to your right, a little windshield wiper. Come back for center. Drop your knees to your left. Good, come back for center. Drop your knees to the right. Again, those little micro releases, tiny. Good, 2 more. Finish now to your left. Good. Swing your legs behind you. Take your left foot forward. So if you think about lining up your left pinky to the outside of your mat, hands again can be inside your feet. We're not looking to put a ton of pressure on your hands. You're kind of just up on your fingertips. You can start off high, lifting your right leg. If you need the couch, you need a block, it's there for you. And then allow your right knee to drop to the mat. Think about dunking the hips down as you lift the head and heart, shoulders falling back out of the ears. If you think about the left knee pressing forward, you shouldn't feel the knee. You'll feel it into the right hip flexor, into the left glute and hip flexor. Should you need a slight turn out with the left foot, everybody's body's different. Good. Either keeping your right toe hooked or right foot completely down, see what feels best for you. Sit your hips back. Almost like you're gonna bow your forehead to the mat. Left toes flex to your left shin. Feel the left hamstring stretching. Good, roll forward, hips stomp down, heart lifts. Hips sit to heels. Again, every side of your body is different. So without judging where you were, how flexible you were on your last side, roll forward. These are just the poses that kind of get us into that static hold. Good, big inhale. Exhale, hips to heels, sit back. Half seated split. One more round, rolling forward. Big inhale. Exhale, hips sit back. Half seated split. The next time you come forward, we're gonna hold. So again, you can stay on your hands. You can let the inside of your left foot come off the mat. You can drop one arm, you can drop both. But we're here a little bit longer now. So this is the place where sensation is the most, where your mind gets loud, and you want to come out of the pose. It's not to say you can't move, it's not to say that you can't change positions. But you want to notice what happens when your mind does get loud, when sensation is at its highest. How do you show up? And where can you start to breathe through these things? A little longer. Take your last few breaths as big as you can on your inhales, as deep as you can with your exhales. On your next inhale, start to mindfully bring yourself back up slowly, slowly, slowly. See if you can take your right foot outside your right hand. Find your little yogi squat. Elbows inside the knees, little sway. So yeah, just like you felt your left hip last time, you're gonna feel your right hip a little bit more, the leg that was back. So this little sway as you press out is just a little release. Good. Give me 2 more each way. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Next time you come through center, drop your booty down to the mat. Come down to lying on your back. Extend your legs and arms out long. Oh, it should feel good. Always an option to stay here or hug your left knee into your chest. Arms come back to a long T. Maybe you extend your left foot to the ceiling and then drop it over to your right. If you got a partner, you can reach for their back. Maybe your foot rests on their thigh. Having that little lift gives you a little bit more should you need it. Think about the left shoulder hugging down. So you feel as the back opening, the IT band, your hip opening as well. Keep breathing. Breathing is what allows you to move energy, your prana throughout your body. That's what you want to keep doing. You don't want to hold it. So we do more challenge or stress. The goal here is, even though your muscles were challenged and stressed during the strength part of the sequence, to use this time to bring everything back down. And 2 more big breaths. 1 more big inhale. Exhale, bring your knees back through center ever so gently. Hug them in towards your chest. Maybe a little rock side to massage your spine. Maybe you rock side to side. Maybe you start to rock forward and back. However you make your way up to a seated position. Feet come in line with your hips. Hands are gently behind you. Hook your left ankle over your right knee and flex your left foot. Think about the left knee hugging down to the left corner of the mat. So now you're getting into your left hip and glute. Hold there just for a moment. There's no need to rush to get yourself closer. We're here for a little bit. The goal is never the finish line as soon as you start, but to gradually work your way to higher levels of sensation, to melt really into the posture with your breath over time. So maybe this feels good, maybe you want it a little bit more intense. Heel scoots towards your booty, hands walk chest to shin. Again, what you do on one side is not a prerequisite for what you have to or should do on the other. Honor each side of your body and where you are today. press your left toes to your shin a little bit more. Could you press your left kneecap down towards the mat? I just want to use them as checkpoints as you hold the pose. Where do you kind of lose that sensation and tension? Give me 5 more big breaths just to round this out. Two more. One more full deep inhale. Exhale, gently scoot yourself out. Unhook your leg. Let your knees drop to the left. Little windshield wiper. Come back through center. Drop to the right. Good. Take a few more at your pace. Again, slowly, not looking to shake everything out. One more each way. Good. From here, just turn it over onto tabletop. Just here to round it out. Belly drops, head and heart lift. And then round your spine, gaze between your legs. Let your belly drop, scoop your head and heart under and then up. And then round your spine. Really think about pulling the chin to the chest. Take a few more at your pace. So as we work your core and your stabilizing muscles, goal here with your cat and cows is just a little release. 2 more. Last time. Come through a neutral spine. Have a seat. Awesome job, guys. Add that into your routine as much as you need to. Hold longer if you need to. And if the poses were too long, don't feel obligated to stay in. Know that you can start where you are. And then every time you do it, see if you can hold just a little bit longer.